Okay, these cool little minnows that are very translucent, and if you've ever fished one of these, you know how extremely effective they are. And I started designing these for fishing in our very clear water streams because, you know, you go down and look in a clear water stream at a minnow, you can practically see right through those things. So that's why I designed this. And I I don't know that I can take 100% credit on this. It's hard to design anything that somebody hasn't already done something with. There's a gentleman that was tying something similar to this on some jig heads that were pretty neat and very similar. So it's just basically a little deceiver type pattern tied with the material is, I like to use the EP fibers, which are great, but craft fur will work good, or you could tie them with bucktail. So anyway, I said 3 minutes. Probably if I talk, I can't do it in 3, but it is a pretty fast fly if I don't drop my scissors here. So I'm gonna just cut a very sparse, thin material, and that's very key right there, is that you tie these very sparse. They're not gonna be a bulky fly at all. So I just tie in a little section and just kind of come back and tie it in, and I double it like that so it doesn't get pulled out. And then just take your scissors and just sort of cut. The other great material is this stuff called Angelina fiber. And the neat thing about it is it's about the same density and has a lot of the same properties as the EP fiber. So I just tie a little super thin amount of strands in there, just to kind of give it some scale and lightness, light factors there. Now I just advance my thread forward, take the remainder of this and just wrap it over the hook, forward, up to about the 2/3 mark. Just catch your thread behind it there, and kind of drape it back here a little bit, and again, just trim them just slightly. Grab you a little bit more white, very small amount. Just lay it in. You may not be able to see that white on white, but just fold tie it here, stroke it back, stroke it underneath, just kind of like you would do a deceiver pattern. Again, the whole thing is keeping sort of a teardrop shape, kind of a minnow pattern to it. A lot of white there. And then come in with some of the top minnow color. And I'm going to use a tan, and just clip yourself some, about 3 or 4 inches of it. Stroke it down on the top, tie it right up against the eye, like such. Fold it down and split it. Tie it right against the eye and just comb it all back with your fingers here. Not much material at all. Just come in here, whip you off a head. Put yourself a few little whip finishes or half hitches. Clip it with a scissor. Come in here and stroke it a few times. If you need to, you can kind of give it a little bit of barbering, just to kind of keep that nice minnow shape, like such. I'm going to take a pair of hologram eyes, and stick those back here on the sides. A long time ago, Dave Whitlock and Lefty Cray, guys like that, said putting eyes on a fly is probably one of the greatest innovations of modern fly tying. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. So there we go. If you want, you can come in here with a little bit of marker. A lot of the shiners that we are looking at this time of year have some red spots and such on them, especially if they're the breeding dusky stripe shiners. And I also like to take a little black and just kind of drag it along the top here. Again, super simple. You can make a few little bars and such along the back here if you want. Just catch some minnows in your local stream and just see what they look like. But a lot of our little stone rollers and dusky striped shiners pretty much have that. Now, here's one of the other key. You can go in here, you could use a lot of things. A lot of the UV resins are excellent. I have found that clear Gorilla Grip is pretty handy stuff. I just put a few gloves on here. Now you got to be kind of careful with this stuff. It will make your babies be born naked if you don't get some ventilation around. But come in here, and I just wet my fingers, and you definitely want to do it with wet fingers, and just rotate that thing around. I've had this old Regal vise since 1986, and it's the only one I've ever used. So anyway, wet your fingers, just kind of come in here and tap it and make yourself a nice little bullet cone head shape on that. Stroke all your materials back. Keep your fingers wet so it doesn't. And then you can kind of pull it out a little bit, and there we have it. It's a nice little beautiful, kind of like the Popovich minnow from a while back from striper fishing. There's, I'm not trying to sit here and take a lot of credit of developing something earth-shattering or whatever. It's so simple, but I like to catch fish, and our fish in clear water demand authentic, realistic presentation. So make them up, have fun, share it with other people.